sa murahan online. No? And unfortunately, that's now the culture online eh. Kasi you can actually hide behind that veneer na hindi ka makikilala. So whatever you want to say, you can say it. Hindi ka naman nagmumura sa bahay nyo, pero pag nandun ka, iba yung personality mo sa online. Hindi ba? So what standard, can you expound on that? Because it actually caught my attention. This issue really is not only a policy direction, it's not a policy debate. This is also a mixture of policy debate and value judgment debate. Ito pang nag-uusapan natin dito. So I would like to you to expound on that and maybe help us kung paano natin maka-formulate kung ano yung code of ethics na po pwedeng applicable sa online community.
Mr. Chairman, Congressman Adjong, probably you can situate the formulation of a code of ethics through crowdsourcing. So it may, everyone gets to contribute their sense because it's actually community policing. The other thing that I would want to bring out is that yung konsepto ng first to report, that actually drives engagement.
Ano po yung first to report?
First to report. For example, may nangyayari yung hearing dito, una mong na-vlog, una mong nasabi, then everyone will be going to you and listening to you. So there are nuances in the ecosystem of the social media that is very important for everyone to understand. And I would rather suggest that a draft be formulated and made public so you crowdsource things. So it is not stifling the rights, the freedoms, but essentially telling everyone, oh, ito yung 12 rules natin. What do you think? Kasi mahirap pong manggaling sa akin, yun yung lalabas na naman is value judgment and the biases. All of us have our own biases and we may consider it as value judgment, others might consider it as an affront to their belief system. So I would rather that code of ethics emanate from the community
itself.
Yeah.
So what you're saying po, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Tikia, is that okay. So what you're saying po, kasi doon po sa mga sa mainstream media, di ba meron po silang KBP?
Yes.
Di ba? Kilusan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Yes,
tama po ba? And meron sila pong sariling sanction. Within their community, nagkakaroon they adopted a certain criteria, standard of ethics. In the case of the vloggers right now, wala po ba, Mr. Gamboa, wala po kayong ganon where the vloggers, your community, come together and maybe, you know, agree that there's certain ethical standard that we need to at least maintain and uphold. And wala pong ganong klaseng ano no?
Wala po, Mr. Chair. Kasi po marami pong efforts before na subukang ipaggrupo yung mga vloggers. Kaso po politically divided po, mahirap eh. Hindi mo pagsasama yung admin na vloggers sa mga DDS na vloggers ngayon dahil medyo magkalaban sila online. And yung nasabi niyo po kanina na pinatay niyo yung you deactivated your Facebook dahil ang dami. Yun po yung goal nila eh. Ang goal nila is yung anyone na dissenting opinion from them, they will barrage, they will bully, hanggang mag-off po ng page para hindi na po mag-post online. So, ang goal po kasi talaga minsan is mambully.
To silence and censor.
To silence and censor. So, hanggat hindi sila lumalagpas doon sa linya na libelous, mahirap pong kontrolin talaga minsan yung pambubuli nila.
So would it be impossible? Would you think that it would be impossible for your community to gather together and maybe come up? Would it be impossible?
Hindi naman po impossible.
Okay.
Pero it would take a lot of hard work to come together. And kaya ako po, personally, yung mga hindi umattend na DDS, marami po doon kaibigan ko. Kasi nahihiwalay ko yung trabaho namin doon sa personal na friendship. Yung iba po kasi hindi eh. Kapag nandun ka sa kabilang side, kaaway ka namin kahit sa personal na buhay.
Ma'am Miss Malu, what's the difference between your experience po as a opinion writer, no? I also I suspect that the blogging is also, you know, in ano lang mas visual lang hindi siya written eh. What's the difference between in your experience as an opinion writer? Papasok po ba yan, or I mean before you come out or publish your piece, your article, hindi ho yan dumadaan pa ba yan sa editorials?
Yes, sir. Dumadaan ho sa editorial, and then you have to conform with the number of words.
Yeah.
You do mainstream media, that's 800 to 900 words. In online, you need to cut it to 300 because of the attention span. And then even the phraseology is very much different. Op-ed writing is more formal. Blogging is colloquial, and to a certain degree uses a different way of communication. It may not even be strategic communication or messaging. You just write.
Okay. Sa itong pombong mga vlogging, which social media platforms do vloggers use? Kasi may Facebook yan, di ba? May real time pa yan. When you say vlogging, kasi may nakikita po ako, may mga microphone sila, may mga background sila. Insa naman, real time, tapos nakikita mo yung mga comments, pero accordingly sa kanila is vlogging yon. So can we categorize also what type of vlogging do we speak here? And which social media platforms do they normally upload their videos? Kasi sabi po ni Ma'am Malu kanina, is that even if you're an opinion writer, you have all your articles would need to be passed through the editorials, no? And there are certain limits, words, and number of words. But in the case of blogging, may certain minutes ba yan? According to the... So ano yung mga social media accounts normally ang ginagamit na probably mas lesser yung sanction or mas lesser yung mga requirements?
Opo. Yung sa vlogging po kasi, maraming klase, hindi lang political. Yung sa amin po is political vlog. Merong lifestyle, may sports, merong food. Ang dami pong iba-ibang klase ng vlogging. So yung political vlogging po, isang aspeto lang yan. Lahat po yan monetize, pwedeng kumita. Yung political vlogging, dyan po problema.
So saan po nila ginagamit normally? Sinasabi mong na monetize yung mga pinalabas nila na upload nila mga videos. Which social media accounts do they normally upload their videos?
Okay. So ito po, yung YouTube po, for how many, almost a decade now, yun po ang main na talagang merong monetization for vloggers. Yung Facebook, for a time, mataas yung kanyang monetization, kaya ang daming nag-Facebook vlogging. Ang problema po, mga last year, binabaan ni Facebook yung monetization for vlogs. So, hindi na ganun kadami.
How do you monetize that? I mean, do you need certain, based on likes?
Based on
views?
Views po. Kasi po, yung mga videos namin, papasukan ni Facebook at ni YouTube ng video, ng commercials, hati kami dun sa babayad ng commercial.
So, what's the mechanics in terms of the payment? How do you do that?
Iuhulog po nila monthly.
Monthly, so meron kang bangko.
May computation sila, ito yung kinita mo this month, iuhulog ko after a few weeks.
So normally po, YouTube sila
YouTube po, ganun po, tuloy-tuloy po. Meron kinikita monthly, tapos iuhulog a few weeks after.
Okay. Tapos that's the social media platform.
Yes po.
Doon sa sila usually nag-vlog.
Wala pong monetization masyado, halos yung mga vlogs. Wala po. Pero ang pinagkaiba kasi sa TikTok, mas nagva-viral yung mga posts. So ang daming mas makakita. Kung ang objective mo is maikalat yung iyong politiko or yung advocacy, sa TikTok po, mas naikakalat po nila. Kaso wala pong monetization yung mga videos. Opo.
Wala silang. Yes, Ma'am Malu.
Sir, if I may, just to correct the impression, monetization, you really have to conform with the requirements. So, hindi yun immediate. If you reach a certain number of followers or views, they will trigger an instruction to you monetize. So it's up to you to monetize or not. In my case, in my personal Facebook page, I have received letter from Facebook online asking me if I want to monetize. And there are several requirements. You have to get your TIN, you have to, it's so